Hi guys, Veggie Gamer back, and yes guys, I do reviews. Every now and then I do a review, guys. Obviously, you may be used to my reactions on movies on the channel at the moment and everything, but I gotta admit, each year, and I've done this for each Sonic movie, I can't wait to do a reaction, guys. Sonic was absolutely my childhood growing up, particularly, you know, the 2D games and everything else, obviously the Dreamcast as well. And so, yeah, it's definitely a bit of a tradition now for me to actually go and actually watch the movie in the cinema, come back and give you my thoughts, guys. I've done it for Sonic 1 and 2, and yes, guys, Sonic 3 is in the books. Straight out of the gate. I'll say this first of all. There will be no spoilers in this half of the video, guys. At some point in this video, I will say, okay, that's the overall spoiler-free review done. Now let's talk about the spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie, guys, definitely go check it out. It is worth it, guys. It is worth it. I'm not going to spoil it, but there is one bit that is definitely worth it. Okay, so Sonic 3, guys, I freaking loved it. I really do. I think, and obviously it's a little bit difficult just out of the cinema, because I've literally just got back from the cinema. That's why Woozle's here. She's left alone for a little bit. If I were to rank them at the moment, having just come out of the cinema, I think this is actually my favorite, guys. I actually do. Now, it is not faultless, of course, but I do feel like not the issues, but the things I didn't particularly enjoy, particularly about Sonic 1 and 2, were kind of absent here. And it was actually a lot more, what's the term? Streamlined, I guess. It definitely felt that way. It felt at a really good pace all the way through it. It was getting stuff done, guys. Obviously, Sonic 2 was, I believe, a longer movie than this. I think it felt significantly longer. And I loved Sonic 2, guys. There was very little, very little fat left on this when it comes to it. Like, it just went straight to the point, which I think was a good idea. I really enjoyed Sonic 2, like I say, guys. Obviously, you know, some people say, like, you know, the wedding stuff was way too long. I don't think it was way too long, guys. Some people make out it was half the movie. Come on, it wasn't half the movie. But yeah, that sort of thing is absent here, and it really is focused on our key storyline, which is awesome, guys, and it worked out really well. I should really give you my history with Shadow real quick, guys. Like I say, the 2D Sonic games back in the day were absolutely my thing. I really enjoyed Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. Obviously, this movie has a few notes from the adventure games. I'll say this straight off the bat, guys. I have never been the biggest fan of Shadow. I never really had any real problem with him until he got his own game, and that game is, I think it's worse than Sonic 06 in my opinion, guys. I did not enjoy Shadow the Hedgehog. But yeah, when it comes to this character, guys, I always appreciated it, but I always thought, well, yeah, but there's better characters in the Sonic universe, in my opinion. Obviously, he's this much more darker and more serious character, and I'll say this, guys, this movie is actually notably darker than the first two. I did notice it's a PG. I can't remember if the first two were PG or not, but this one definitely pushed that letter a bit further. There were certain bits where I was thinking, oh, they're doing that in a Sonic movie? Okay, which actually kind of surprised me, guys. There was a handful of moments there where I was thinking, wow, this is definitely, I don't want to use the word mature because I think that's probably the wrong term, but definitely a darker storyline with darker moments in it, you know. And I feel like that worked out really well. It's kind of like, kind of in a weird way, of Sonic now growing up and he's having to deal with more darker presences and everything, and they definitely hit that on the button, I must admit. When it comes to the storyline of Sonic Adventure 2, which is the one which Shadow came in, wasn't it? I can't quite remember the storyline beat for beat, guys, but I feel like this is it's kind of like it's a little bit like the game as I remember, but then with some very, very big twists in it. To be honest, I don't really remember Gerald Robotnik at all. I'll say this. Obviously, Jim Carrey played both roles. You know? He's great. It's a great addition to it. And it's not like, oh, it's an older Robotnik. He's actually very, very different when it comes to you know, motivations and things like that. And so that was something which I really wasn't expecting. I thought it was just going to be, okay, we're going to get a bunch of scenes where Jim Carrey's doing wacky things to himself and everything. Now, granted, you definitely get that. You definitely get that. But you actually get a lot more where you find out that Gerald isn't just this, oh, he's Robotnik but older. He's got his whole extra thing going to him. Obviously, we go into the Maria storyline as well. I feel like that was handled brilliantly. I really do. I won't explain too much on that, but it was very, very nicely done, where it wasn't like, and this is Shadow's storyline, and that's why he's sad. It's not like that at the start, you know. It does it in a very, very interesting way, where kind of, as we learn more about Shadow, we kind of like empathize more and more with him. I feel like it's actually really brilliantly done. So when it comes to Shadow, the character, guys, I don't know. I preferred the movie version as someone who isn't a particular Shadow fan. I'm still not completely on board with him as a character, but I'm glad that, oh no, I can't really say that, but we'll talk about that in the spoilers. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed this version of him, and it wasn't a, hey, he's a blue hedgehog, he's a black and red hedgehog, they both run fast, and now they're gonna compete and everything. There really was this whole reflection of how Sonic's life could have been very, very different if he just, as the Joker said, had that one bad day. And so yeah, I thought that was really brilliantly done. The locations are really cool, guys. Obviously in the trailer we got Tokyo, and in the trailer we had London as well. I can say that as well. The soundtrack, I think this is the best soundtrack from a Sonic movie. I really do. I thought it was excellent, guys. A Sonic movie which has The Prodigy and Traveling Wilburys in it. There, go and see the movie. No, that was a surprise. But yeah, there's a few like music sequences where we almost like take a break from the movie, and it's like, okay, we're now just going to enjoy this musical bit, and it could be like telling parts of the story, but it may also just be Robotnik and Gerald being Robotnik and Gerald. Great costumes in this episode, in this movie, I should say, guys, as well. But yeah, guys, there were definitely some surprises in there. That being said, I do feel like, and like I say, I do feel like this is my favorite Sonic movie. Like I say, the stuff which I was a bit, what's either gone from this movie or very, very light in it. Like, say, you remember, like, in Sonic 2, where you basically had all the characters from the first one, but they're back, and they're going to say the thing which I said in the first one. I thought that was great, guys. That is in this to an extent, but it's really pulled back on, and so I appreciate that. I feel like that was the right decision to do. But yeah, guys, there are some big surprises in there. I mean, yeah, I can't really say anything, but being a Sonic fan from my era, I certainly was not disappointed with the third act. It actually went in a way which I wasn't expecting, and when it was on screen, I was like, yes, please, Sonic 3, I'm now delighted. And so yeah, we'll talk about that in the spoiler, guys, but all in all, I really enjoyed it, guys. Like I say, I feel like it is the best version of the Sonic movies that we've had so far. I would say this, that it doesn't particularly take any massive risks. I feel like you could see Sonic 2 and Sonic 3, and they're not a million miles away from each other's storyline, if you catch my drift to an extent. Obviously with very, very different changes and everything, but there are little moments where I was like, watching the screen, I thought, we saw this in Sonic 2. A very similar but different scene, you know? So it took no risks. I don't think that was a particularly bad thing. I think that that's absolutely fine. There was one science bit where I was thinking, hang on, that doesn't really make sense at this point, but I was just willing to go with it. At the end of the day, guys, it's a family movie. I was never going to take a Sonic movie too seriously. But there was one bit where I was thinking, right, that doesn't make any... But then, on the drive back, I thought, oh, okay, I've worked it out. So we will discuss that in the spoilers as well. But guys, go and see it. If you enjoyed the first two, guys, I feel like you're really going to enjoy this one. I really do. I'll say this as well, guys. Agent Stone, he gets a story arc in it, and I'm so glad for him. I've enjoyed... I think I've said it in both my reviews for Sonic 1 and 2, guys. Stone is one of my absolute favourite one of my absolute favourite parts of these movies. And he gets a bit more in this one, and you get a bit of progression. And so I was delighted for him. I'm delighted for the actor. I follow him on Twitter. He seems like a very lovely chap. I'd love to see Stone in the video games, guys. Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be cool? I think it'd be cool. Okay, one bit which I forgot to mention before starting the spoilers, I'm going to dump this into the non-spoiler part as well. Obviously, at the end of the first two movies, we get the credit sequence where it's basically retelling the movie but in 2D graphics. We get a really nice twist on that. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but they basically took the concept and tweaked it, and it was really classy. I thought, even when watching, I was thinking, that is a great idea. That is a great idea. Oh yeah, I'll say this to avoid, avoiding spoilers, guys. There was one change in the third act which they made, which was pretty much probably there because they didn't want to get sued. I'll leave it at that, guys. We'll talk about it in the spoiler part of the video, guys. But we need to get into it, guys. So thank you so much for watching. If you're going to dip out now, this is the end of the non-spoilery part of this review. Go and see the movie and then come back and watch the next part of this video, guys, because we have stuff to discuss. My goodness. Right, okay. End of the spoiler-free part. Over to the spoilers. There's Rosal. The cinema went nuts, guys. The cinema went nuts. The cinema went nuts. And I admit, guys, I actually went on my own to go to see this because no one else I'm able to go see it with. And I went nuts to an extent. I wasn't like screaming, but I was like, there it is, guys. I'm hoping everyone has now switched off, right? Because when I said in the first part of this video that there's one bit that is particularly good, I am talking about the freaking post-credit scene. There is no way that Sonic 4, there is no way. I'm sorry, Monkey, I'm getting excited, don't I? Sorry, Bob, get your snap. There is no way that Sonic 4 isn't going to be the best Sonic movie, guys. There is literally no way. I did actually start to think at one point that maybe there wasn't going to be a post-credit scene, because obviously I forgot to mention it, but I'm going to go back and record a little bit now and insert it into the previous part. But the end credits were obviously retelling the movie again, but through computer graphics. Turns out they're actually Dreamcast graphics, or maybe like a mix between Sega Saturn and Dreamcast graphics. And so that was sweet. I really loved that. It was so cool to see. It really felt like we're progressing as the movies go on, that we've had these beautiful 2D arts, credit sequences, and then this one we get a 3D one, which just looks fantastic. And the post-credit scene leaves it where they have to continue the next movie from the very second that this movie ends. There's no way they can't. There's no way he can't. So Sonic thinks he's in a race with Tails and Knuckles at the end of the movie. And he stops running, and it's like night time, and he's like in the woods. He's like, oh god, it looks like I overshot it. I think it says that he was in New York or something. And all of a sudden, this thing falls behind him, guys, and the thing starts to get up, and it is freaking Metal Sonic, and he looks perfect. Now, I gotta admit, guys, there was a little bit of the old school fan of me thinking, wouldn't it be cool if we had the completely chrome Metal Sonic from Sonic 2 first, and then the really funky looking ones from Sonic 3, and then the Sonic CD one, like maybe all in the same movie or something. But no, we went straight to Sonic CD. I ain't got any complaints about it, guys. He looks awesome. He looks so cool. He tries to take a shot at Sonic, who just sidesteps him and takes him out immediately. He says, hey, well, thanks for the compliment in the look and everything, but you're gonna have to try harder than that to take me out. And then red eyes just fill around him in the forest, and there's just all these freaking Robo Sonics, which is so cool. And at that point I was thinking, just give it to me, just give it to me. They all start jumping in at him, and then a pink streak runs past, guys, and the cinema went completely nuclear. They went nuclear with Metal Sonic. They really did. Oh my god, Metal Sonic. When that pink streak went past, guys, the cinema erupted. It really did. It was freaking cool. And it's freaking Amy, guys, saving Sonic from Metal Sonic, which is perfect. We were never going to get the fangirl Princesses in Another Castle Amy from Sonic CD. We were never going to get that, guys. And I feel like that's rightfully so. Those things were great in the past, but they are kind of dated now. They really are. And so we have this much more capable Amy. She's already got the freaking mallet as well, guys, which is awesome. And so, yeah, I really like the fact that we're getting this more modern version of Amy, and I think it's going to be great. She looks freaking great, guys. Seriously, I know there's been lots of mock-ups about her design over the years, because we knew that we would eventually be getting her. I knew she was going to be in this movie, guys. I 100%, even during the credits, I was thinking, yeah, but we still had to have Amy. Quite frankly, we need some female characters in this, guys. You can't have, oh god, I can't remember her name. I can't say Tom's wife, that's terrible. Maddie. But, that's not as good as having Amy the Hedgehog in there, though. So I did fully expect her to be in this, but my god, this cinema. And the insane thing is, guys, so I'd say, a quarter of the cinema had already left at that point. Have these people never seen a modern movie or something? You need to wait for the post-credits scene, And so, the rest of us that were left there went absolutely nuts. There's a bunch of teenagers behind me, guys. And I went, ah! It's so cool. Yeah, that was a great moment. I gotta say, guys, and this isn't ranting on the rest of the movie at all. That was the best bit of the movie. That bit of the movie. I left the cinema with this Cheshire Cat smile. I really did, and so I was delighted by that. But we need to talk about the rest of the movie. So I was saying about the whole copyright thing. We got a version of the Death Egg in this movie, guys, which is pretty cool. When it came out, because it's been called the Eclipse Ray, I think it was called. And it comes out of the Thames and it's going up into the sky. And during that scene, I was thinking, okay, this is cool. It's probably a homage to the Death Egg, but it's a shame that they didn't really make it look a bit more like the Death Egg. And all of a sudden, these two red eyes appear, this big nose comes out, and this moustache sprays out from it. And I was very happy. And so it's like a jellyfish sort of looking thing with bits hanging down. They couldn't just go with the, they couldn't go with the Death Star, basically, is what I'm saying. Hence, they didn't want to get sued. Which was awesome. We then got the Crush 40, theme playing, which I think we all expected. I think it may have even been confirmed at that point. Shadow's story arc in it, like I didn't want to say too much about it in the non-spoiler part, but it was so cool how it kept on dipping in with it. And so right away we find out, okay, Shadow had a bit of a tragic past. Oh, okay, we're doing the Maria storyline, but then there was still so much more to go throughout the movie where we get this beautiful montage to the Traveling Wilburys, End of the Line. Such a beautiful song. That was that scene, wasn't it? I'm sure it was. It definitely was, yes. That's such a beautiful song, guys. And even after that bit, we still get little bits where we see the build up to what's about to happen. And I'll say, guys, if you played Sonic Adventure 2, or if you've seen this movie, you know where it's going. And that scene was brutal. And again, that was another moment where I was thinking, wow, you wouldn't have got this in the first two Sonic movies, guys. This was a very sad scene. Sure, there's worrying bits in Sonic 1 and 2, guys, but like actual kind of despair, it was very well done. Loving the Agent Stone story, guys. So obviously I can say now at this point, it appears that both Shadow and Robotnik actually died. Robotnik sacrificing himself for the greater good. Sorry guys, leave me a bit to copy a bit. And Stone, we get this wonderful moment where Robotnik basically tells Stone how much he meant to him, and Stone then walks away and everything. If we're done with Robotnik, I feel like it's probably the best point to do that at. It does obviously raise a lot of questions about who's behind the Metal Sonic, unless Metal Sonic's behind it, of course. But if that's it for Jim Carrey and Robotnik, I think it was really cool, guys. Like I said, the costumes are really cool. We get full Robotnik from the adventure game. Sorry, have I been saying advanced this entire time? I hope I am. The adventure games, with his outfit and everything, which was really cool to see. Like I say, having the Prodigy play whilst he's getting, into his, his normal Robotnik outfit was kind of crazy, but I loved it. Soundtrack was great. yeah, like I say, the movie took no real risks. Like I remember seeing moments from it and thinking, oh, that's like in Sonic 2. We get the moment where Sonic basically talks talks Shadow down, and then they team up together. And I remember thinking, oh yeah, like the scene on the beach. You know what I mean? And that was the bit where someone behind me said, how are they breathing? So they are now in space during this fight. I think they're actually on the moon, in fact. Wow, the moon doesn't come out this well. That's going to mess up the Earth, let alone everything else. And yeah, like the one of the teenagers said, how's he breathing during that bit? And I was thinking, oh, come on, it's just a Sonic movie. And obviously we've had Sonic drowning before and everything, you know, almost drowning before, so it is a thing that he does need air. But then on the drive home I was thinking, well, hang on, sure, this is blue Sonic and it's black and red Shadow, but they still have the emeralds though, I should say. We obviously get Super Shadow in this as well. And so that, to me, explains that away. I'm absolutely fine to just say, okay, they had the emeralds, that's fine. There's other bits with Tails and Knuckles as well, but I'm not going to take it too seriously. And it's very possible I missed something else. I should say this as well, guys. Maybe Tails' technology came out with something, because Tails' technology is awesome in this. It's really cool. Obviously, we had some pretty cool gadgets in the second movie, but the gadgets in this movie are really awesome, and it's a step up, guys. Like I say, we do get the odd cameo of, like, oh, remember that character from the previous movie? We get the sister-in-law back with her husband, but it's done in a way that it's actually Tom and Maddie disguising themselves using Tails' technology, this little button, to make them appear however like different people. And so I thought that was nice. It's like, yeah, okay, I enjoyed them enough. I'm glad we're not going to have an old story arc towards them again. I like the winning stuff, but it would have been odd to have it again. We then get Wade back for one very brief scene, which I did appreciate. Wade, I enjoy, but kind of the less Wade for me. I haven't seen the Knuckles series, guys. That is out, isn't it? I think it came out last year, but I was dealing with all sorts of RL issues at the time, so I missed it. So maybe I should check it out sometime. But yeah, he is there, but very, very briefly. But yeah, guys, I don't want this to run on too long. But my God, that last scene, that had everyone leaving the cinema delighted. And I think that Sonic 4 was actually confirmed a couple of days ago, if not a day ago. It can't not be the best one, guys. And we're getting a cool Amy. Amy, I've always really enjoyed Amy, guys. I think that they're promoted at the moment because I got hacked a few years ago. But one of the first series on my channel was Sonic All-Stars Transformed, I think it was called. It was a racing game. And in that series, guys, I'm Amy nearly in every single episode. And so I always appreciate Amy, but I'm so glad that we're not going to be going for this. The way that she looks at Sonic at the end, it wasn't oh, Sonic, or, you know, like the old school Amy would have done. It was I am a badass and I just saved your neck. And so that was cool, guys. It's so good seeing Amy in that. Oh my God. Metal Sonic showing up, I was like, because I didn't expect it, guys. I thought that we'd get, like, maybe Amy turning up because of the end of the movie somehow, but no. It seems like there's this whole thing, the whole story arc between Metal Sonic and Amy that we're kind of like being dumped into. And so it seems over in New York, which I think is what the sign said. Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff going on. I gotta say, guys, the movie's full of references. I'm not going to list them all off, but the goal sign spinning around, the music, there's one bit where Sonic's celebrating and it literally goes, oh, what was... No, it doesn't do the Sonic 1 theme, does it? I think it's the theme from Sonic 3, maybe? Like the end of level jingle. And we had the toe tapping as well at one point. There's all sorts of references in there, guys. I'm sure that there's some that even I missed. But yeah, go and see. If you got to this part and you just want to find out what the spoilers are and everything, guys, it's still worth going to see. Because if Heart of Cinema doesn't know it's coming, that last scene is going to get people excited, guys. I'm so good. Sonic 1 and 2, I saw in very, very, very quiet cinemas. In fact, on Sonic 2, when Shadow was revealed, I think it was me and two other people that were still in the cinema. But there's lots of shuffling coats and people walking down the aisle. But it's like, oh, okay, we got it. Metal Sonic showing up. Boom. Audience went, whoa, what's going on? Then the pink streak running past. That was awesome. That was awesome, guys. I can't wait to watch people's reactions to that. Seriously, that was an experience. I'm so glad that I went in spoiler free. So guys, go and check out the movie. Let me know what you think. Where would you rank it against the other two Sonic movies? Please subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm VEGGIEKNIGHTS, and I'll see you next time.